Hello, it's Landon Rivers. Today I wanted to walk through a scenario that I really enjoy, which is the final level of the first Punic War, the Battle of Tunis. I've beaten it on hard. I thought it was a pretty challenging level when I tried it for the first time and completely miserably failed. But I found a really cool trick to it to give you a head start and almost guarantee your victory, but you have to follow it very closely and just understand how the AI is going to be working in the rest of the campaign level. So I'm gonna go back to a recorded game that allows me to control speed so we're not waiting too long on everything. And I'm not the best player. I'm really not. But hold on. Yeah, a lot has happened already. Let me just pause it right here. And I'll make everything visible, make the fog of war off, so we can just take a look at the land right now. So objective of this scenario is to, one, destroy this wonder, and then build our own wonder in these flags right here. Meanwhile, we have the Roman Navy up here in their own little area, which you can only reach by transport boats. And their entire job throughout the scenario is to harass you on the land and also send landing parties over to you. So they'll be creating mainly infantry, and they also have this starter navy, which are triremes, and you start with a dock that just has a scout ship. You don't have war galleys, you don't have triremes, you have a very crappy navy start. And in fact, they like to shove it in your face at the very beginning, as you saw here, which is having your boats all surrounded by these guys, and you just get pummeled. So that's what the yellow side is going to be doing. And the red side, they are basically, I think that what they do is they wait for you to turn into Iron Age, or it might be time driven as well, but they will be sending over armies of swordsmen and siege mainly. So you have to account for that. They also like to use priests often, and since you're the Carthaginians and you get bonuses for elephants, you always have to be on the lookout for that. I always make priests to help convert any elephants that I lose to these guys, because they're expensive. And also in this area over here, they have these little raiding guys, or these guys patrolling around in the forests, where you could get some more gold. So now here's the thing. Even though this is like kind of looking a little bleak, you literally are starting with only 200 wood, no food, no gold, 150 stone, very standard start. And 200 food, so it's a very standard resource start. To help you out in this situation, they do have this army right here. A bunch of phalanxes, they changed the name of it. A couple catapults, and this named guy, Xanthipus. And so if you get him, you are on the same island as these guys over here. And you'd like to think like, okay, cool, I can send over these guys and destroy this wall, kill this tower, and then siege my way into here. The problem is that these guys right here, these boats, this army, will destroy you. They will destroy this free army of pretty good guys, and you don't want that to happen. So these guys, they start out with broadswordsmen, and they don't have too crazy of a start. They're having to build up their own economy as well. We see that, they start out with a good amount of wood in order to maybe build some more boats, they're building some war galleys themselves, and pretty standard starting area. They've got archery range, building barracks, temples, and slowly they're going to build up landing parties for you. So the idea with this trick is you want to get this army into here as quick as possible. And you have to be wary of this navy here. So let's restart and see how we do that. And you kind of already see in the very first second exactly what I do. The scenario starts and your view is right here with you getting pummeled. And like to a person playing for the first time, you're gonna lose the navy. It's exactly what happened to me. I lost the navy. I lost everything. Well, let's do it. Okay, so you start up, you grab these guys right away, and you bring them into the dock, because that gets out of their give a crap range, and then they start to run away, or they go to do their own thing. Meanwhile, you queued up a bunch of villagers to start chopping wood, because immediately we are going to be building some light transports. And of course, around the area, we want to get our economy started. Just put some guys onto farms, put a guy onto gold, and but generally we want to have a very wood-heavy economy at the start, because we want to get light transports up as much as possible. You also start with a bunch of longbowmen in your area as well. That's your starter army. It's not too much. You can't really do much with the cavalry in this forest. But as you can see, I made a light transport, and I got an improved bowman in the transport. And all you have to do is just kind of head a little bit straight to the right of the area you started, and you land it right there. Land the guy right there. And you start to make your way up towards the army. And what you also want to start doing in the meantime over here, while you're making villagers and you're starting to get a little economy going, we know that there are cavalry in the forest here. So what I like to make to prevent myself from getting raided, because this is on hard and they like to send those guys over, is I like to make camels. And so that's kind of one of the things I'm doing over here, is I'm switching my view here, and also as I got the bowman to here, I just kind of click up here and it allows me to switch back. I like to make camels, and I like to make villagers, just get everything up and running, keep myself safe. And I just keep these guys tucked away for now. Meanwhile, I just keep making these light transports. I am making 4 light transports because there are 19 people in this army, plus the longbowmen that I sent over, which is 20. So if I have 4 light transport boats, then I'll be able to transport that entire army. And the idea is, I want to get that army right in the center of their town. But I got this gigantic army on the, or navy on the sea that I have to deal with. How on earth am I gonna do that? We get our 4th transport over, and as they start to make their way down here, I start to look at, splitting them into 5 so it's easier to put them into boats. Meanwhile, down here, I've started to shift over to food. I've got 10 on food. Still a decent amount on wood, because the other objective that I have is, as soon as I start to raid them on the land here, I want to look at clearing their navy. And the thing that the Carthaginians have, when you get to the Iron Age, is the fire galleries, which is exactly how you are going to clear out their dang navy. So we're starting to focus a little bit more on the ability to do that. Get yourself a nice little wood buffer for the navy, and then, kind of go almost full speed ahead for the, hold on a second, go full speed ahead for the Iron Age. So now here's what just happened. I got the entire army loaded up into the 4 transport ships. This is what I do. I take all my boats, my fishing boats, my war galleys, everything. I grab them all together, and I bring them up, and I go in, and I set them to be the scattered view, or the staggered. What do? I'm not going to engage them. All I gotta do is get their attention. It's very important that you actually get close up to this area right here with the little nook, because there are some ships hiding in there. So, okay, we got the attention of everyone, great. And now we have our little boats heading in this way. Drag them all away, and you just keep going. You see, just keep going. you can drag them all the way to this shore area right here, which is ideally what you want to do. Because if you do that, then when the boats are done killing your navy right here, they will not have line of sight or care about this landing party that you're about to send over. Okay, so I kind of know what they like to build. They definitely have a barracks. They have archery range. They got a town center. They might start building a siege workshop as soon as I land. But this is what I want to do. First order of business is to get everyone in the very center of town so they can just start dealing damage as much as possible. The other thing that I want to do is I want to get the siege starting to move upward, and I want to make sure that those things are protected, because the second that these broadswordsmen see those catapults, that will be their main target, and they will stop at nothing to get towards it. Fortunately, you have phalanx, and those are really good against broadswordsmen. So you want to do things like, set them to be the defensive stance and just keep them around the catapults. And this is where things can go pretty wrong. If you lose both of your catapults, it's going to be messy. It's possible, but it's messy. Like, you might get a guy who comes back here, but you see they're very busy at this point still. And I don't know, they could wipe you up. But this is what happened. They all start to make their way towards the catapult. I'm trying to get them away. I'm trying to get the phalanx to help them out. Wipe up those. Oh, shoot. Yeah, so I lost one, but that said, it's still okay. Make my first target be the town center. I don't want them making villagers. I want them to replace their town center. And if they replace their town center, let's look at their resources right now. They've got a lot of wood to burn through. We want them making buildings. We want them burning through that wood, because with no wood, they can't make scorpions or whatever they're called in this game. And yeah, so we want to kill their wood by having them rebuild a bunch of buildings. And then we also want to kill their gold, which they only have one guy on right now, and that's easy enough to take care of. We took care of the town center, and now we work on the barracks while there are no longswordsmen. You see they're already starting to build a siege workshop down there, which I'm not going to worry about too much. I'm just going to generally start working my way up here. And here you see they rebuilt a town center, and they're building farms, and they're building a barracks. And so we see that they're already down, to 275, because they decided to, build a, let's see what they're called, ballistas. They're scorpions, come on. They decided to build a ballista during that time. This is also when my tracking and all that, or pathing, just kind of went to crap. But now I'm totally out of the range of these triremes when they... Triremes? How do you pronounce it? I'll look it up later. I'm sorry. Even if they get all the way to the edge here, they won't be able to get my guys. But look at their economy now. They've got no wood. They have no food. Their only town center is now kind of... is gonna die very soon. Yeah, there's their one dumb villager. And, they can't build up anything else. So they are officially screwed. As soon as I see this ballista coming towards me, I'm just gonna set myself back to my view. The ballista's coming towards me. Yeah, you got one of them. Whatever. But now they have no more army. They have no more economy. They've got nothing. This island is mine. So now is when I start to shift my view back to my people here. And I just so happened to have gotten enough for the Iron Age. Actually, no, I didn't have enough, and I ended up selling some wood, because I had a lot of wood, and I did that to get enough food to go to Iron Age, because what happens is these boats over here, they start to make their way back, and they want to start raiding me. because they have a timed trigger to raid the player. They're gonna send over some boats and start raiding the player and sending over a transport ship. Whether they have guys in the transport boats or not, they're gonna start sending boats over. That's just kind of their trigger. So I want to wipe them up. I already built another dock. I'm advancing to the Iron Age. Speed it up a little bit as that happens. And yeah, things are gonna start to go a little bit faster since we got past the fun part. I didn't do it right now. I'm just kind of cleaning up everything on the island because we got juicy gold right here. We also have juicy gold right here. So I'm going to claim this island for myself. But I'm also gonna look at starting to bring these guys back home since it's no longer a threat. Just going to wipe up some of the guys here. Rip my transport boats, but you saw, hey, look at that. I got my fire galleys that I was able to get out because I advanced to the Iron Age. So that was a nice priority of mine. And now I'm just kind of wiping up everything on the island. The Navy is over here, and as soon as they just kind of have had enough of it, or I get enough fire galleys, I think I get about 5 of them. And then I start to attack their navy. Yeah, there we go. They all melt, and they're like, okay, we're done. I put 10 villagers into boats here, and now that the towers are cleared out, we can come over here and start building town center, storage pit. I thought I built a town. Whatever. I built a town center. There it is. And I start to build a base up over here. Just kind of doing whatever. Thank you very much, Roman Navy. This is a very nice island that you have. So meanwhile, I've gotten a lot of camel riders in order to address these guys, which are going to start making their way over. Speak of the devil. Right now, they are anti-cavalry, and they wipe them up pretty well. And now, with everything out of the forest, since they're starting to, send over their regular army, because what happens is when they send over their first raid, they just send over everything in the forest. Aside from a couple down here. But they send over everything generally. This is where I started to run into a little bit of trouble. Because I only had camels and archers. So I started to, make some cavalry. And this is where, my noobishness kind of comes into play. But as you see, I started to bring over my phalanx from here. I could have, no, I'm still working on the wall over there, whatever. I bring over my phalanxes, and we start to wipe things up. If I start to lose, I get elephants out, and just address this, petty little army that they got. But the nice thing is, once we have that taken care of, they start to just kind of bide their time. Even on hard, they could send over everything that they have right now, but they don't. They just kind of wait for the next raid trigger. So now it's up to me to kind of build up an army. I brought these boats over here just to, have some ranged support. And that's about it. So now I'm just kind of building up some structures and building up a little bit more of an army. I like to keep in mind that they are focusing on broadswordsmen and siege. So all I gotta do is just have some nice cavalry to take them down. And these priests are annoying as hell. So that's why I have horse archers to take care of them. I'm not able to convert enemy monks, but yeah, I've got my horse archer snipers, and that's just kind of their job for how they're going to be assisting me. And we start to make our way over here to the choke points. The Roman Navy will never produce a single warship. They will never produce a transport ship. The AI just does not do that in this scenario. So what I have to do is just kind of hold this area down here as they start to send guys over. They're like, oh, hey, you're encroaching on me. Time to send over my dudes. And this should be enough to take care of them. I've got some monks to do some counter conversions. So I lost elephant right there. Just kind of wipe things up. Get a stone thrower out there. I researched engineering, and now I can take out this guard tower, which only gets up to 11 in range, so I am totally fine to take it out. And with that out of the way, now another little thing that I do that's kind of cute is, should be coming pretty soon. There it is. I build a wall right there because I want the AI to always path through this area right here. And I don't want to worry about them coming in from the north. So I just make a little blocker and that messes with them. So that's kind of my nice little trick that I do, and that's the final little trick. And the rest of it is, you know, just kind of good micro and getting everything going with a army comp that has heavy cavalry that I've upgraded at some point. Horse archers, which I put into their own group and just kind of have them patrol around and kill guys that are immediate threats to the siege. I don't do the greatest job here, but I mean, the whole idea is if I'm this much of a noob and I did this on hard and I did that really cool meme, then anybody can do it. It's just all about timing and understanding what's happening in the map. So we start to make our way over here. Cavalry cleans up the siege. They also keep their eyes on the temple up there for any priests that come through. Heavy cavalry and elephant archers just kind of protecting the siege. And really, that's it. We have taken down, yeah, as soon as we get this barracks over here, then they've got nothing left. And I was actually surprised that they didn't resign at this point, because, let's see, did they even have? Okay, it's because they have this dock over here, all the way up here. If I got that dock, then I think they would have resigned, but they've got a food income and they're stupid, and so they're not resigning. Because the fun thing is, if they do resign, this wonder of theirs just dies. And you don't have to worry about breaking the wall and killing this army right here. And so that's what I'm trying to do here, is I think I might be doing that around this point, is I'm just kind of looking for boats in the sea. But also I'm just kind of making my way up and just, you know, losing cavalry to priests for free. Well, yeah, once I clear the way, you send in the cavalry, kill the council's guard, they get defeated, you kill the wonder, and then as soon as you do that, then you focus back on home, where you just bring over all of your villagers, you sell to get all the resources that you need, you start making town centers, you start building everything, you clear way for it. You realize partway through that you forgot to research architecture at the government center, so you research architecture, you get enough so you have the max number of guys surrounding your wonder, and then at about this point, which is less than an hour of game time, I got it at 58 minutes, you finish your wonder, and the game concludes. So I really like this scenario. With the little tricks that you can do, especially at the beginning, it's just kind of staring overwhelming odds in the face and realizing that they're starting with as little as you. So if you can bring over a trump card like that big army, if you find a way to get it into their space, then you got yourself a winning hand. So that was it. And if you're having trouble on this scenario, I hope that you found this helpful. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed the replay. This is Landon Rivers, and have a good day.